Hi, I'm Floriesha. I went to a small liberal arts school called Brandeis University on a full ride. I attended the university as a first generation student coming from a low income background. I have a bachelor's degree in sociology and race, media, and communication. I was able to do a senior thesis. I studied abroad in South Korea. I won grants for research, and I also won additional scholarships during my time. And even though I was well accomplished, there are things that I learned after, and there were things that I wish someone told me before. Keep watching this if you want to hear big sister advice that I wish someone gave me. I feel like there's this big pressure on friendship in college, and as a person who has always felt like I've never actually fit in, or always felt like I had a hard time maintaining and making friends making friends in general, I feel like it's important for me to tell you to just be yourself, to not force relationships, and to never stay in friendships out of fear of being alone or out of fear of not having friends at all. You're always going to be making memories with the people that you surround yourself with. And so I think it's important to realize that those people that you choose are super important, and to be very intentional about the people that you're choosing to be inside your life or to be around you. Make sure that they make you feel happy. Make sure that they allow you to be your just authentic self. Make sure that you also don't feel alone when you're with them. And that's the thing that I've had to learn, is that I needed standards for my friendships. I needed to communicate to my friends my needs and what I desired, or I needed to communicate my discomfort with things. I needed to voice my opinion without always thinking that withholding them will solve anything. Being passive and not being super communicative with people around you doesn't lead to healthy relationships. And so if you feel like you can't speak your mind, if you feel like you can't be yourself, that is very telling, and that means that you need to get other friends. And when you first get to college, you're just scribbling and you're just trying to find your people, but don't feel stuck and confined to the people that you connected with during your first semester or first few months or years of college. Just know that there are other people that exist that you may also click better with, and you just never know unless you step outside of that circle. But also, the people who may end up being friends with you may or may not look like you. They may not share the same culture identity, racial identity, they just may be different. So just be open to anyone. My second tip is learn to build community on your college campus. So when I was in college, I had a multitude of campus jobs. I was working in maybe 3 to 4 different departments, and all the staff knew of me. They knew of my work. They knew how well-rounded I was. Even that in itself is powerful, because the more people know you, the more opportunities or potential opportunities that you may able to get your hands on. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about how the staff members within college and universities are super important. They know people that can help you, and the people that they know also know people that can also help you. It's like a network, and it's like a spider web. Taking the time to get to know people in different departments of your college or of your university, or just the staff members, it's really resourceful. They can come in handy when you need a letter of recommendation, or when you need an advisor for certain things. No matter what job you're doing, whether it's something small or big, or something that aligns with your future goals, always try to leave a good impression on people. I was able to accomplish so much and be recommended for so much because of the people that knew me. They were like, oh, Floriesha would be a great person for this opportunity, or Floriesha, hey, did you hear about this? This sounds something like you would be interested in. And I think just having a community that's always looking out for you is super helpful, especially when you may not know all of what your university or college may offer, or what's even outside. I'm just going to share a few tips that kept me structured and balanced as a student who had 4 jobs, who took 4 classes. So Google Calendar and iCloud Calendar was my besties, and I connected my Google Calendar to my iCloud, or my iCloud to my Google, one of the two. Whenever I would get invites from professors or whatnot, it would just go to my Google and then show up on my iCloud, which was I put all of my classes on my iCloud, so I would get reminders 30 minutes to an hour before, so that I can get ready that it's time to go. And then I had class. If I had Zoom meetings or whatever, I would put it on my iCloud. If I had an event and it was not on my calendar, I was not going. So I had to put everything on my calendar and plan it out to a T. I had a physical planner, and the planner was almost $30. Okay, you don't need to buy a planner that was that expensive. Mine was just very aesthetically pleasing, okay? I had my name on it. It was very cutesy. It worked for me. So I needed a planner. Every time I was given an assignment, I wrote it down. Let's say I had a paper that was due like 2 weeks from today, I would give myself reminders a week before, and then like a couple of days before it was due, like to keep reminding myself that this is due. I also would look at the syllabus, write down all the important dates of my exams, of assignments, or of group projects or whatever, just to keep myself structured in order to like, okay, this is coming up, or I have this coming up in the next 2 weeks. Just so I know that I'm always in flow with the class, regardless of whether the professor's a good professor, because that's another thing. If a professor's not good, you may not enjoy the class, and also it'll probably be hard for you to stay on top of things too. Just try to be in charge of your success in college. No one is babysitting you, no one's holding your hands. Your professors are not going to tell you to do your assignments, okay? They want you to succeed, but they also need you to do the work for you to succeed. You also need to try, like you need to do the bare minimum. Well, it would be better if you did the bare minimum. Also, please go to your professor's office hours or whatever student hours, office hours, go. College is not easy, and you know what? Maybe it may be easy for some people, and that's great for them. Claps, claps, clap. But if you're having issues and you're not acknowledging them and going to resources that are meant to help you, aka your professor or your teaching assistant or whatever that's there to help you, it's your fault for failing. Go to the student hours, go to the office hours, build a relationship with your professor, especially if they are well versed or they are literally professor in the discipline that you are super interested in. They could help you in your future. And then definitely take advantage of your teaching assistants. They're also there to help you, especially in the course, or answer questions because they probably also took the course previously and know like the assignments that you are already doing. I would try to study with others. When I was taking a really challenging like anthropology class, I had a group of girlies that like we would like meet up. We were just like memorizing and going through everything and trying to like know as much as possible, and it was really helpful because it was entertaining, and we were determined to like leave the group knowing a lot much more material than we had prior. Also, I would note down what environments allow you to do your best work. I don't know why, but I was a person who could stay up to 3 a.m., not advised, okay, to finish a paper. I wasn't a person to like leave papers to the last minute because my anxiety would just rise up and I felt like I was like leading myself to failure. But I did my best work in the nighttime. I did my best work when I was alone. I did my best work when I was in cafes. I got my little chai latte, my matcha latte, or my little coffee or whatever, and I was like in my little nook somewhere. And so knowing what environments allow you to do your best work to optimize your performance is key. Learn yourself, learn what works best for you. If you know that you can't work with your friends, don't sit down with your friends, or tell your friends like, hey baby, we're gonna like chat a little bit for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and then we're gonna do work for 45 or for an hour. You know, keep a little balance. But if you know you're just gonna chat, don't study with your friends. Now I'm gonna talk about college boys. All I want to say, especially to my girlies, do not make men, boys, the center of your universe. I understand that as a college girl, we're just girls, right? We just want to be in a relationship. We want our man. We want to be taking out on dates. Like we want the whole experience. However, do not make men or boys that are becoming men, some may not, you know, be the center of your universe. Always center your dreams, your ambitions, your goals, and what you want. Men will always be there. There's abundance of men on this earth, okay? However, if you are caught up on a man for 2/3 of your college experience and you're failing classes and you can't do this and you missed out on that opportunity, that is on you. And guess what? He's not doing the same thing. He's making sure that he's done internships, he's done this, he's done that, he's done this. Don't do that. Do not make men the center of your universe. Do not center them in your college experience. Center you. Center what you want out of college. Because if you don't, you're gonna miss out on all of the opportunities that are right in front of you because you're centering men, or you're centering the idea of what your relationship should look like or like what you should have in college. Do not do that. My next advice is to be intentional, not performative. And this is coming from a person who's always felt like I needed to outperform others in order to stand out. I always felt like I needed to be like on my A game. I needed to be so well-rounded that I was doing this, I was doing that, I was doing that, I was doing this. And as I've been reflecting, like as a person who's graduated like a year ago, I was asking myself, like, did I do things for the sake of my own approval? Or did I do things out of the need for validation? Or for the sake of saying I did it? Or for approval? or for praise. Sometimes I feel like as college students, we feel pressured to be everywhere, to do everything, to have all these accolades. But who are they for? Are they for you? Or are they for other people watching you achieve them? And that's something that I've been sitting with for a very long time. And as a person who's, graduated from college, I'm like, I'm no longer doing things just for the sake of saying that I've done them. Like, I'm being intentional. I'm only doing things that I am inspired to do, or if I have a purpose in doing it. It's super hard to just think that you can just do what you feel called to do rather than feeling the need to always do everything else. I know I'm like going on a tangent, but at my university at Brandeis, it's super competitive in a sense. Like, yes, it's the competitive nature of college that sometimes exists. Like, you see everyone having these huge success, right? You're like, am I doing enough? And so if you keep looking at people, if you keep trying to up or meet the success of others, you'll never really truly build your own. You won't be able to fully drown in the accomplishments and achievements that you already have because you never feel like they'll be enough because you're always comparing it to someone else's. So only do what feels inspired to you. Don't do things for the need for approval from other people. The next advice is college is a one-time experience. You can't do college over again. It goes by like this. I kid you not. I mean, when I started college, it was like the summer of COVID, like 2020. That was probably the slowest semester of my college. After I was a sophomore, that's when things started to pick up. I said, oh baby, like college is over in 2 years. And then I was a junior, and then I was a senior, and it was like, okay, bye. And I know a lot of people, again, put so much emphasis on academics and whatnot, but like really enjoy yourself. Get to know the people around you, enjoy the experience, the aesthetic, and the daily life of being a college student. There's so many things that I miss now that I'm like, damn, like I took for granted low key, Just know that you only do college once. Live in it. Feel it. Be present in every moment. Try to. I know it's super hard because as a person, when I was in college, I was like, oh, but I need to worry about what's coming next. I need to be working on this. I need to be working on that. When you really feel this moment, just like look around you and be like, wow, like I'm here, like this is my experience and I'm doing this. Like just have moments like this at least, to really take in the experience of being a college student. Oh, and take advantage of those student discounts, okay? My next advice is that you're the only person who can define your limits and who is able to know what you're able to achieve. When I was in college, I had an advisor told me to not do something because I was a first generation who came from a low income family background. And I did not take her advice to the heart. I was just like, okay, and just to be specific, it was like study abroad. Like she told me to go somewhere cheaper. And I was like, no. I want to go to South Korea, and I know that study abroad is super expensive, and I know that I couldn't like rely on my family to help me with the funds. I did everything in my power to get to South Korea and not pay a dime, and I did just that. And I was so proud of myself that I did not let an advisor, who are usually described as people to like help guide you and make decisions for you or whatever. Advisors are there to advise, not to set definite outcomes or results. That is your job. You do what's right for you. If you feel like you can do something, then do it, regardless of what these advisors are telling you. They are telling you based off of their own past experiences of what they've seen other students can accomplish. Actually, we don't even know what the basis of what they're telling you are capable of doing or what they're advising. Imagine if I gave up on my dream of going to South Korea because my advisor told me that I was too poor. Do you know how limiting that is? Like she put me in a limit. She boxed me and she told me that I couldn't do something because of my background. No, I can do anything. And that's the thing with like first generation or like low income students. There's this narrative that you can't do certain things because you don't have the money, you don't have the means, and so you just get what you get, or you do what you can with what you have. And I'm like, no, there's so much more things that we can do and that we can achieve. You are not limited by your identity, whatever it is, right? Whether you're Black or you come from low income background or you're first gen, none of these things matter unless you make them matter. My next advice is don't compare your college journey to someone else's. Everyone in college comes from different backgrounds. You just don't know what people's situations are. You don't know what is fueling their decision making. Focus on your own journey. Focus on what you want out of college. There's no right or wrong major or minor to choose. There's no right or wrong way to do college. You determine what's the right or wrong way to do something. There's no pressure to know exactly what major you want freshman year. If you have the opportunity to slowly figure out what you want to do by playing around with a couple of classes the first 2 years that you're there and then declare, then do that. However, if you're pre-med or pre-law and these universities or colleges have a set schedule for you and you choose that path, that is your path to take, right? However, for the other people who don't know what they want to do for the rest of their life when they just left high school, it's also okay. And you know what? You're not confined to the bachelor degree that you get post undergrad. There's people who was pre-law who ended up doing the exact opposite of pre-law or pre-med. Don't feel the pressure that, society or your college campus culture or even your friends or you may be putting on yourself. Just go with a pace that feels comfortable and best for you. Don't self-sabotage. Don't try to play it small though. Don't be like, a little, airy about it. Don't do that. Just be intentional. Sometimes other people can be, a source of inspirational motivation to go harder or go stronger. But when it comes to comparing journeys and what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, don't do that. I'm a firm believer that following with your passion or leading with your passion can lead to financial abundance. And I know that as a first generation and coming from a low income background family, there's this pressure for you to be financially stable. And I understand that. I feel like a lot of families from that background are like, become a doctor, become a lawyer, become an engineer, whatever. I understand that money is super important. If that is the reason why, then sure, right? If you're not feeling drowned and drained by that pressure, or it may not feel like pressure to you, but by that desire to do so, then do it. However, if that doesn't align with you, that doesn't feel right to you, then don't do it. That didn't feel aligned to me. And because I feel like there's so much possibilities out there than just taking the course or choosing a path that feels safe. I'm not judging. Everyone has their own reasonings. Everyone has a different lifestyle. And maybe I have the privilege of saying that I didn't feel the need to do things safe, right? Everyone's different. But if you can and you have the will to do so, do what lights you up, what inspires you, what makes you happy, because in my opinion, there's always a way. And now my last opinion, it's mostly for my Black girlies out there, for my women of color, but especially for my Black girls. All of my life, I have attended PWIs. It's all I've known ever since I've came out the womb. And I've never really had good experiences with my self-esteem, my confidence in who I am as a Black woman. And I've been in spaces a lot where men of my own race and other men have made me feel like I was less than or just a sexual object or whatever beliefs they have around Black women. They projected that onto me. And so going to college, attending another PWI, not once on my college campus did I see a lot of Black women being shown public display of love, affection, any of the sorts. Like if there was a Black girl that was in a relationship, she was probably, not straight, or she was light skinned, or she was biracial, or she wasn't too Black, Texturism is a thing, colorism is a thing, racism is a thing, internal racism is a thing, misogynoir is a thing. All these things are real and they can and they may show up on your college campus. And like I said, I was able to witness and see every other woman, white women and women of color, except rarely for Black women, to be in a relationship on my campus. If you came, you can count how many women of color or Black women that were in a relationship on my college campus. And I promise you it was only 2 or 3 from my knowledge. All I have to say is that people's lack of actions or actions towards you does not define how lovable you are or whether you're lovable, whether you're desirable, whether you're beautiful, whether you're worthy, whether you're valuable. Do not let people's projections of their ideas of you impact how you see yourself or how you view yourself. And I know as a human being, we desire at least some sort of validation that we're beautiful or that we're lovable or whatever. But I've been talking with my other Black friends who go to PWIs, and we were just talking about how us Black girls, we just grab onto crumbs in the sense of when someone looks at us or shows us attention, but it's minimal attention, we kind of gravitate to it and oh wait, do they like us? or do they want us? Like, we're playing this like guessing game, which I really don't like. If you like me, let me know. If I had to ask any of my non-Black friends, I don't think they ever had to guess whether a man really liked them or not, because they told them. There was no guessing. There was no, I'm taking this like slight glance that we share every other week or every time we're at class as a sign that you may like me. I don't like that from my Black girlies. You deserve to be loved out loud and proud. Period. Okay? That's why I love you, my Nicolandria. Okay? I want Nicolandria stan. You don't deserve being loved in behind the scenes or in the nighttime or whatever. You deserve to be loved out loud and proud. If there's nobody who shows up or does that for you throughout your 4 years of college, that has nothing to do with you. It is just simply the environment that you're in, and maybe there is some social rules or whatever, or preferences. I don't know, baby, but sometimes those things can exist, but they have nothing to do with you, right? And I'm only saying this because at Brandeis, I let people's lack of actions or actions towards me impact the way how I viewed myself. There was some point in time where I considered myself to be super masculine because I thought that that was the reason why no one was approaching me and no one like sought me out romantically. Like, I came up with these crazy reasons as to why I wasn't like sought out while I was like in college. I had some sort of envy towards non-Black women or women who weren't fully Black because they didn't have the same treatment. And I don't like being like, oh, I'm a victim because I'm a Black woman and this is my experience. This reality exists for me, but it isn't something that I tie myself down to, isn't something that I consider myself to be a victim of. I think it's just the world. The world is the problem, not me. Don't let your college campus or your campus culture make you feel like what's happening there is an exact projection of the entire world and all experiences that you have in the future, because that is not true. And before I end this video, I want to let you know that college is what you make it. It is your experience. You can either have a great college experience or you can have a bad one, and it's totally up to you. I'm rooting for y'all. I really am. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Join the crew. I love you guys so much. Oh, and also thank you so much for watching it all the way till here, especially. You're a real one. I love you. Bye.